So, as I say, we are all stuck. We're really stuck. Maybe you could say stumped, whatever. We got problems. We don't know how to treat our bodies, and we don't know how to fix the political economy. Well, I got a couple of ideas, one for the one and one for the other. For the physical body, what we got to do is get rid of the pain and the stress that isn't necessary to our operation. We can get rid of it, in other words. Here's how to get rid of pain and stress. Like if you limp, or if you're stiff in the neck all the time, or something's pulling all the time, you can get rid of it. Maybe you've had it for 30 years, but you can still get rid of it. All right, well, one way is getting yourself on a table or a big bookcase or whatever, or a tree stump like this one, and stretch out that spine. Just hold your arms stiff like this, and you just stretch out that spine, and then you can just rotate your head and your neck a little bit. Lean right into the pain. Wherever the pain is, just stretch it out gently and firmly, and then come down slowly, gently. You don't want to be pounding your back like that. So, well, as I was saying, we're stuck with our bodies, and the way to do it is to get rid of the way to get rid of the pain, the way to get rid of the stress is not only this, but there's 100 other ways to do it. But the best possible way, the most effective way, is when you put your body into a state of non-gravity. That is to say, gravity is no longer working upon your body, or only a very tiny fraction of the force of gravity is any longer affecting you. Now, how do you do that? You go into the water, 4 feet of warm water, and then you let yourself surrender to the experience. You just float. It's like floating through the universe out there in space. Just if you let yourself do it, you can put a nose clip on so you don't have to worry about breathing water in. And that's all you need in the way of equipment. You just go under the whole, you put your whole body under the water, and when you do that, it loosens up your joints. Your body is floating, as I said, and if you just surrender to the experience, your joints will loosen up, and you start feeling the source of the pain. Only you can feel this, but what you can do with it is amazing. You can become your own chiropractor. You make adjustments the way a chiropractor will take your body and put it into a certain position and then go like this. That's an adjustment of your vertebra. Well, you can do adjustments on your own vertebra much better than a chiropractor can, because a chiropractor doesn't know where the pain is exactly, how much force to use, at what angle to do it, but you do. Because all you got to do is follow the wisdom of your body. Your mind and your body merge into one, and you just let it flow. And that pain, you follow that pain. It's like surfing along the edge of the pain. And that's how to get rid of it. Because when you go long enough, stay at it long enough, right along the edge of it, all of a sudden, it pops. Something pops into place. Kind of like the way you might have experienced when you had a really big sneeze all of a sudden that you weren't expecting, and your whole body shook, and you felt something go crack, but it felt okay. That's what this is. So you're doing it more consciously. You're just leading right into it, and then your body takes over, and it'll take you where you need to go. And then there's going to be a wonderful release of energy. And the way that the reason why it's such a wonderful release of energy in the water is because your body can undulate like a fish, or be gyrated in any angle that it has to. And that's what happens, really. There's a snapping, explosive release. And your body goes, and you let out a bunch of sound and then breath underwater. It's just amazing. So that's the way to do it. This kind of exercise hanging from monkey bars, stretching out on the sand at the beach, all kinds of good ways. And now, about the political economy. The political economy is in a mess. I mean, there's no question about it that it all feels really illegitimate. That is to say, wherever you look, governments have stolen elections and suppressed people in violent ways, controlling them not only in those ways, but in much more subtle ways. And what we have, the result today with the political economy, is chaos, near chaos. Things feel like they're spinning out of control. And they are. And we have to recognize that and recognize the need to do something about it. The problem is there's nowhere to go to talk about it in these terms. I mean, the Congress are wrapped up in policies that are being distorted and warped by lobbyists, and the Congress has become a center of legalized bribery. The senator takes X number of thousands of dollars for his campaign from the strawberry growers, and then he agrees in exchange to do a favor for the strawberry growers, or the pharmaceuticals, or the military builders, military industry, the bankers. In fact, the bankers pretty much own the place, as Senator Durbin finally admitted a few weeks ago. He says, the banks, when I look around this place in Washington, he says, I see now that the banks really own this place. That's what he said. Those are almost his exact words. The banks own the place. So, what to do about it? Well, where do you go to talk about it? You can write your congressman, email him or her. You can go on talk radio, but there's not going to be any back and forth interplay between you and the office holder. There's no real dialogue going on. There's no way to sit down across the table from the president, for example, and say to him, Mr. Obama, when you were running for election, you said that you not only wanted to get us out of Iraq, you wanted to change the mindset that got us into Iraq. Excellent. Well, when do we start? Going further into military solutions in Afghanistan, it seems to me is going just the opposite direction. So I'd love to sit down across the table from the president, or have someone sit down and say that to him. And then say, Mr. President, what do you propose to do about it? What about Martin Luther King's message? You like to quote Martin Luther King a lot, sir. Martin Luther King said that if we don't follow the advice of the wisest people who ever lived, or these people who are considered to be the wisest people who have ever lived, if we don't start following their advice, then we're going to be doomed by this militarism. Well, we're getting very close to it, it seems to me. And so I would like to ask Mr. Obama to respond to how he well, what he says about Martin Luther King's words. Martin Luther King's words were roughly that we must follow the advice that we got in the Sermon on the Mount with regard to how do we treat those that we call our enemy. How is it that we can approach them in a different way, different from what we do now, that is with guns and robot missiles? So I think Mr. Obama is susceptible to that kind of reasoning. And I think we can yeah, I understand. I get your message. We can edit, you're going to have to edit